Mr. President, don't you think if you were more forthright with the American people, more lives could have been saved?
It goes through air, Bob. It's also more deadly than your strenuous flus.
On average, you lose from 26,000 to 70,000 or so, and even in some cases more from the flu. And they ask, what's the difference? It's going to disappear. One day, it's like a miracle. It will disappear. It'll go away. It will go away. Just stay calm.
Bob, really, to be honest with you,
sure, I want you to.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
I think we've done, from every standpoint, a incredible job.
Hundreds of thousands of dead people. And when he stood up there every day telling the country that it was a hoax, Democrats were lying about it. Let's talk about the Republicans in the U.S. Senate. Every one of those Republicans knew how dangerous this was. Every one of those Republicans, every single one of them, 100% of them, knew he was lying when he was saying the things that he was saying at these briefings.
As you said, it requires enablers at every level in that White House. And look, we all know there's never been a whole bunch of courageous voices in that White House, but now there are none. They are the worst of the worst sycophants I think we've ever seen around a president. No one is willing to say, this is nuts, you're killing people, shut up, this is crazy. Not one of them is willing to. And the enabler in chief coming up right after Donald Trump in the rank order is Mike Pence. I've got a little clip I want to play of Pence today that just once again illustrates that this is a man with absolutely zero moral clarity on Donald Trump at all. So we can roll that clip, guys.
I couldn't be more proud of the response of the American people, more proud of the response of health officials in every agency of government, states across the country, and I couldn't be more proud of the strong, steady leadership that President Donald Trump brought to this coronavirus pandemic from day one.
The squinty-eyed sincerity. This is someone who made a career out of telling people that cigarette smoking wasn't bad for them. That's what he did. So talk radio host, one of our favorite ads of the cycle, the adultery spot with Mike Pence holding forth on adultery. I mean, this is a man utterly lacking in conviction, in core principles. He is an empty vessel. I mean, there's never in the history of the country been a bigger upgrade on the ballot available for the country to pick between Kamala Harris and that fool.
Let me play out the previous part of the conversation earlier, because this is really important for people to understand. Right before we went live here streaming on LPTV, Donald Trump was on stage at another rally, thousands of people, maskless, talking about how successful the United States of America was in handling the COVID crisis, saying that had he not taken swift early action on closing the borders with China, that many, many more hundreds of thousands of other people would be dead, that the United States of America has handled this situation better than any other country in the entire world. Literally, these are his pronouncements. So even after getting his hand caught in the cookie jar, and I say that to be nicely, he blatantly lied, knowing that his fellow countrymen would die. He continues to do it. And the enablers around him that you guys were just exhorting continue to this day to remain silent. They remain quiet. They enable this through their silence. They allow this to continue. And that is a preview, if you still need one, of what is going to continue, probably accelerated, if this madness is not stopped in 54 short days. This 200,000, we are talking about 200,000 people. I don't know what else to say. I'm speechless.
This is also something, guys, that we've been talking about a little bit, because they've been racing to reopen everything, and because they've been turned masks into a sort of an insult rather than a precaution. We're about to go into the fall where every one of these epidemiological experts, every one of these virus experts says we're going to have a second wave hit us in a couple of weeks. Now, it's also happening because they reopen schools without a plan. They reopen colleges without a plan. These people have built a machine that is going to kill more Americans. There are some estimates that we could have 500,000 dead Americans by the end of this year, which is a shocking, mortifying number. And I have a message for the people around Trump who are remaining silent, who are remaining cowering in the dark. Not only the elected folks who support him in the Senate and the House, but people working in the White House. At the end of all this, and all these bodies are out there, there will be a reconciliation in this country. And people like you who stay silent, who stay by this man, who defend him until the last, there will be accountability in our society for you. You will find a moment when people find out you worked in the Trump White House and Americans were dying by a 9/11 every day, that you are shunned and you are out of society as it is constituted. Because there is a point in this country where you're not just engaged in helping the president, you're engaged in abetting manslaughter by this man.
And he has got to go. He is incapable of doing the job of president of the United States. And the whole country is suffering because of it. Every person shares in the grief of this, the loss of this, the restrictions to life. And again, it did not have to happen. And if George Bush was the president, if Hillary Clinton was the president, Barack Obama, Mitt Romney, John Kerry, Al Gore, it would not have happened. It would not have happened.
I mean, that's the most damning thing in the Woodward story is Robert O'Brien, his own national security advisor, at the end of January said, this is going to be big. This is going to be the biggest thing you've ever faced. This is going to be the thing that defines your administration. And he still spent 2.5 months lying every goddamn day to the American people.
To Steve's point, and this is really important, we always do chalk up what Donald Trump does to incompetence. But when you listen to that tape, he is coherent, he is knowledgeable, he's talking about this being a deadly, dangerous virus by a factor of 5. He was briefed. Mm-hmm. He knew. He was not kind of like the fading old man, let the fading old man in here. He knew.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
It's the greatest responsibility of a president to help keep Americans safe, to protect our families. Donald Trump has failed this solemn duty. Over 170,000 Americans have died in the past few months from COVID-19. Millions are infected, and there is no plan. No plan to contain the virus, no plan to make it safe for businesses to reopen, no plan to reopen schools. In this time of national crisis, Donald Trump did what he always does. He lied. He bragged. He blamed. He never led because Donald Trump is not a leader. This time it's personal. Donald Trump's ignorance and incompetence is threatening your family's safety. It's not about Republicans or Democrats. It's about protecting our families.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
He failed. He must go. On November 3rd, vote to protect your family. The Lincoln Project is responsible for the content of this advertising.